Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily Update, my 1000 Days Challenge. This is day 897. So just doing a very quick run through update itself for S&P 500. We definitely still lean towards the upside momentum itself, but you can see that we have actually break down the downslope trend line, which is a very good sign of strength. But bear in mind that if we do get clean rejection, then that'll be a very bad sign. But you can see a distance between here, 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 and here, and then the right over here, which is the gap over here, and then we also form a higher low in that sense. So these are very clear sign, very good signs of strength of support that we do want to see prior to retesting and breaking above. So I do think that in terms of long-term bottom-wise, we're very much likely to be in. But as anybody said, it's still potentially possible that we could still see a further bear market, especially if the market sentiment does shift in that sense. Right, so there's something to know of, but otherwise, I do think that the long-term bottom is in, as in the next 1 to 2 years wise, we are unlikely to see a much lower low in that sense. But that's not to say that it cannot happen, it's just to say that the chances of happening is lower in that sense, at least for me, in my perspective. And if we're looking at on Nasdaq, we do have some sort of key resistance over here, which is confluence of both the 20 exponential moving average, 200 exponential moving average, and 200 simple moving average on the weekly chart. So definitely is a point of contention itself. I do want it to break decisively above, but if we do get rejection wise, I do want consolidation over here, and tentatively there will still be a very good sign. But obviously, the most strongest sign will be very strong break above, and then at least to the 12K region itself, and then in which case we consolidate over here for a much stronger push. And then in terms of ASHR wise, definitely like what I mentioned over here, when we do have a very strong capitulation, the very fact that we are very likely to have already reached the bottom over here is very clear because of a very strong volume over here. And volume wise is also very decently strong over here as well. So these are very good signs of strength because you want the very bottom or the capitulation happens when you have a very strong bullish pulse following after a very strong distinct drop, and then the volume just climbs after that. But of course, if you're looking for a long-term buy, to me, any candlestick along here will be a good opportunity. But if you're looking for trading opportunity on this particular time frame, why then I'll still be a little bit cautious because there could be pullbacks along the way, and you do want to still a good risk to reward setup. So both kind of intention of trading or perspective is very different, be for long-term hold or be in terms of trading wise. And finally, for the traditional animation market for KWAT, we still do see a very hanging green candlestick. Potentially short-term wise, we get some downside momentum. But in terms of mid-term wise, I still do think that we're going to see a much higher high, especially when we are breaking above this key resistance region itself and we are potentially showing signs of support. And then finally over here for Bitcoin itself, we definitely do see a very strong signs of strength, especially over here, both in terms of the volume wise, we are very likely to close within the next 1 day and 9 hours wise with a very large green bullish candlestick. And the key thing is that we break above this range itself. And you can see that prior to that, we don't really have such a high. The last time we see such volume on the weekly chart is over here itself. So you can see generally when we do form place bottom up, we do have a very decent climb where you can see from the high over here, we close at 37K, and then the peak over here, we actually climb as high as 48K itself. So that's a very decent climb in that sense. So this is something that I do anticipate that we are too likely to climb in the next 27% in that sense. So if we do climb over there, I do think that it's very likely to retest this 24,000 region itself. But bearing in mind, ultimately, we are still leaning towards a little bit towards the bearish side. But I do think that the mid to long term bottom wise is likely to be in, and we are very unlikely to break this 16K mark unless there's a very strong sentiment shift or there's a very strong change in the market sentiment itself. All right, with that said, I've come to the end of today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop by your comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.